Hey, today I'm talking about 3 movies featuring the actress Olivia Cooke. I just really like her. She was terrific in Thoroughbreds and Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. So I was like, let's watch some more of her stuff because she's awesome. But the names of those 3 movies we're talking about today are Life Itself, Katie Says Goodbye, and The Limestone Golem. First up is Life Itself. This is a 2018 film, voted the worst film of 2018, which makes absolutely no sense to me, because, spoilers, I really enjoyed this movie. It was great. I don't get why people be hating. It stars Oscar Isaac, Olivia Wilde, Olivia Cooke, obviously, also has Antonio Banderas, and a few other people you'd recognize. I'm gonna be kind of vague about the premise because part of it is just the fun of exploring what this story is, but I will say it's broken up into 5 different chapters, and each chapter kind of focuses on a different set of people that are tangentially related. I don't know, I just really connected to it. It's definitely a much darker film than you kind of expect looking at this, and that's something that's important to note going into it, because it covers some very dark and messed up stuff. But that's kind of the point of it, is that like the movie is about life itself, just about like how messy and weird and random it is, and just like how you don't know what random thing is going to kind of dramatically change your life and what's just going to be normal. There was one aspect of it though that I didn't like, but it was telegraphed for like half the movie that like this is where we were gonna go. So once we got to the moment, even though I still didn't like it, I had accepted it because I knew it was coming. Being vague, I'll say that it's a moment that kind of makes things a bit more connected in a convenient way. I think that diminishes this story a bit. It would have been more powerful if it was more an intentional choice. From what I can gather, a lot of the criticism seems to be that the movie is saying a lot, but it's not really saying anything with all the words that it's saying. And I can kind of get that. I do feel like the end, the story just kind of stops, sort of, and it's trying to make a point, but I don't know if it really wraps up everything nice and neatly. So yeah, I don't get the hate. I like this movie a lot. I would recommend it. It is, you know, lots of love story stuff, but there is lots of dark stuff in there as well. So you just kind of have to feel it out if you think this is going to be the vibe you want. Next up is Katie Says Goodbye. This is also a 2018 film, this time starring Olivia Cooke and a few other people you would definitely recognize. Christopher Abbott is one, and then the guy from Glow is another. Yes, the basic premise is it is about a sex worker who is without a doubt the happiest, friendliest person you would come across in a day. She is just a delight of a person, and so kind and so generous, and just like it makes you happy to see her. And she's also a sex worker. I really, really love that basic premise. I think that's such an interesting idea. It's such a contrast of what you expect with sex worker stories. Olivia does an awesome job. She really carries this movie. You definitely buy her as a very delightful, happy-go-lucky person. And when she does have to do those more emotional moments, it's still believable. But I kind of have mixed feelings on this movie from just like the messaging of the movie, because it starts off with such a pro-sex position, and then things kind of go bad in a way that makes me feel like they're maybe still trying to demonize sex work as not real work. That like saying that like even if you are like the nicest, kindest, bestest person in the world, you're still gonna go to hell for sex work stuff. But I don't think that's what they want the message of the movie to be. It's kind of like the Book of Job, where it's like, you can shit on me all you want, but I still have my firm beliefs and I'm still gonna come out the other side clean because I know what I believe, type of thing. And I really want it to be that, and if it is that, then I really like this movie, but I don't feel it's made distinctly clear which one of those 2 movies it is. So that's why I ended up putting it middle of the road. It's in the like section. It is good, but I don't know what they're trying to say, and that's frustrating. I would recommend it though if this sounds interesting to you, because it was an interesting movie and I'm glad I watched it. It were solid performances, interesting story, whatnot. But I will also add it, you gotta be okay with seeing a happy-go-lucky sex worker. And lastly is The Limehouse Golem. This is a 2016 film starring Bill Nye and again Olivia Cooke. This is a whodunit murder mystery type of thing, very similar to like Sleepy Hollow or any movie about Jack the Ripper, and I really didn't care for it. It was almost immediate. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. It was like the third scene of the movie and I'm just like, what is happening right now? Like, I know how to watch movies. This is a movie happening in front of me. I understand film language, but it was just nothing that happened made sense to me. And it was so strange, but I was like, I'm gonna stick this out. No, it's Olivia Cooke. She is terrific. Bill Nye's a good actor. I can do this. I can power through this. It'll make sense eventually. I couldn't power through it. I just kept getting distracted. Eventually I was like, I'm just not even watching the movie right now. I'm just on my phone. And so I was like, yep, I'm just gonna stop this. And I was like, but no, then I won't know who the killer is. And I thought about it for a second and I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care who the killer is. It really doesn't matter to me. So yeah, that was a strange experience. I do think Olivia Cooke was good though. She was, fun and pretty and a good singer. That was fun to find out. I didn't know she could sing, but she wasn't like the super main focus of this movie. So I couldn't like force myself to continue watching it. As much as I love Bill Nye, So yeah, so I don't recommend this movie, though I'm potentially an outcast in the opinions of this movie, but even with that, I still don't recommend it. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Life Itself, student number 38 in the really like section. I told you, I really liked it. And then after that, a seemingly long ways down, is Katie Says Goodbye, student number 158 in the like section. It's pretty close to smack dab in the middle. And then bringing up the rear, rightfully so, is the Limehouse Golem, student number 236 in the didn't like section. And this is have a total of 247 old movies so far this year. And that brings the grand total out of all the movies I've seen so far this year up to 309.